Have you ever imagined the terror of finding your loved ones brutally murdered in their own home? An evening that was meant to be peaceful turned into a dreadful nightmare at the Apo Legislative Quarters in Abuja. Adebola Ezekiel, an 80-year-old man, and his wife, Abiodun Ezekiel, were found lifeless in their apartment, victims of a gruesome act of violence. The elderly couple, known for their quiet and peaceful life, were discovered around 11 o'clock on a fateful Monday night. Adebola, an octogenarian confined to a wheelchair, and his wife Abiodun were not just victims of a break-in. They were savagely attacked, their throats slit by assailants whose identities remain a mystery. The silent walls of their home bore witness to the horrifying act, but held within them no clues to the identity of the perpetrators. The couple's son, soon Ezekiel, had become worried after several unanswered calls to his parents. His concern led to the chilling discovery of his parents' lifeless bodies. Soon had to rely on a security guard in the area to force his way into the apartment, as repeated calls to his parents went unanswered. The guard, upon entering the apartment, was met with a grim sight: the lifeless bodies of Adebola and Abiodun in a pool of their own blood. The incident was confirmed by the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) Police Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Ade, who issued a statement to the press. She reported that the incident occurred on the 1st of April around 10 o'clock in the evening, following a distress call from the estate manager of Zone D, First Gate, Apo Legislative Quarters. The mystery of the assailants' identities and their motives behind such a brutal act remains, as the police launched an immediate investigation into the horrifying incident. The Commissioner of Police visited the scene of the crime, ordering the Criminal Investigation Department to commence a discreet investigation immediately. A quiet evening had turned into a night of horror at the Apo Legislative Quarters in Abuja. What happens when the sanctuary of home turns into a crime scene? An unsettling question that no one wants to ponder. Yet it was the grim reality that befell the residents of Adebola and Abiodun Ezekiel. The peace of their apartment in the Apo Legislative Quarters, a serene corner of the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja, was shattered abruptly on that fateful Monday night. The octogenarian couple was found lifeless, their throats brutally slit, a shocking scene of violence that painted a stark contrast to the tranquility that once defined their home. The attackers, who remained faceless and nameless, left behind a disturbing tableau of a crime committed with chilling precision. Imagine the scene. The house was quiet, the clock nearing 11. The couple, one of them wheelchair-bound, were likely settling down for the night, their evening rituals disrupted by an unexpected and violent intrusion. As we delve deeper into the details, the picture becomes more unsettling. The assailants, it seems, had a clear plan. They knew exactly where to strike and how to escape without leaving a trace. The house, typically a fortress of safety and comfort, had its defenses breached. The kitchen window protector, a seemingly trivial part of the house's architecture, was manipulated to gain entry, a simple yet effective breach that allowed the assailants to sneak into the house undetected. The crime scene offered a morbid spectacle. The bodies of Adebola and Abiodun were found in a pool of their own blood, a gruesome testament to the brutality of their attack. The silence of the house was broken only by the echoes of a crime that had just been committed, the remnants of a peaceful evening shattered by an act of violence that was as inexplicable as it was horrifying. In the aftermath of the crime, the house was transformed into a stark crime scene. The once familiar spaces now bore the chilling signs of a brutal crime: the bloodstains, the disrupted furniture, the eerie silence. The home that once echoed with laughter and shared memories was now stained with an eerie silence and the chilling signs of a brutal crime. When a crime of such brutality occurs, how do the authorities respond? In the immediate aftermath of the gruesome discovery, the wheels of justice began to turn swiftly. The FCT Police Command, spearheaded by their public relations officer, SP Josephine Ade, sprang into action. A statement was issued outlining the chilling details of the crime scene and confirming the tragic demise of the elderly couple. The initial response to the crime was one of shock, but also determination. The authorities were well aware that the clock was ticking and every second mattered in this high-stakes investigation. The statement by SP Ade emphasized the urgency of the situation, detailing how the police had been alerted to the crime scene following a distress call by the estate manager of Zone D, First Gate, Apo Legislative Quarters. The assailants, whoever they were, had left behind a scene of unimaginable horror. Yet they had also left behind clues, pieces of a puzzle that the police were determined to solve. The son of the deceased, Sun Ezekiel, had given his permission to break into the house after his repeated calls to his parents had gone unanswered. What the security guard discovered upon entering the house was a sight that would haunt him forever: the lifeless bodies of Adebola and Abiodun Ezekiel lying in a pool of their own blood. The commissioner of police himself visited the crime scene, a clear indication of the gravity of the situation. His orders were clear and direct. The Criminal Investigation Department was to commence a discreet investigation immediately. The goal was to piece together the events of that fateful night, to trace the steps of the assailants, and ultimately bring them to justice. With every crime, the clock starts ticking for the investigators. The first 48 hours are the most crucial. As the sun rose on a new day, the investigation into the brutal murder of Adebola and Abiodun Ezekiel began in earnest. Who could commit such a heinous crime, and why? These are the questions that plague the minds of the FCT Police Command as they tirelessly work to identify and locate the assailants responsible for this heart-wrenching act. Swiftly responding to the grim discovery, the FCT Police Public Relations Officer, SP Josephine Ada, confirmed the incident. The Commissioner of Police visited the crime scene, indicating the gravity of the situation, ordering the Criminal Investigation Department to commence a discreet investigation immediately. The wheels of justice were set in motion. While we can only speculate on the possible motives behind this gruesome act, several theories have emerged based on the available evidence. One prevalent theory suggests a robbery gone horribly wrong, given the violent nature of the crime. Another theory points to a more personal motive, considering the victims were an elderly couple living in a secure legislative quarters. The relentless pursuit of the assailants is marked by the combined efforts of the local law enforcement and the Criminal Investigation Department. They are meticulously combing through every shred of evidence, from the time of the distress call to the discovery of the lifeless bodies. Every phone call, every bit of surveillance footage, every testimonial is being scrutinized in the hope of identifying a lead. This extensive manhunt spans beyond the city limits of Abuja, reaching out to neighboring states and even international law enforcement agencies. The urgency and intensity of this search underscore the commitment of the FCT Police Command to bring the perpetrators to justice. In the face of such a tragic event, the resolve of the law enforcement agencies has been unwavering. They tirelessly work around the clock, determined to solve this case and bring closure to the bereaved family. The hunt is on. The law enforcement agencies are determined to bring the perpetrators to justice. The promise of justice echoes in the air, a beacon of hope amidst the tragic loss of Adebola and Abiodun Ezekiel. So where does the case stand now? And what does it mean for the community? As of today, the investigation into the brutal murder of Adebola and Abiodun Ezekiel is ongoing. The Federal Capital Territory Police Command remains committed to bringing the perpetrators to justice. The Commissioner of Police has personally visited the crime scene and ordered the Criminal Investigation Department to start a discreet investigation immediately. This heinous act has sent shockwaves through the Apo Legislative quarters and the larger Abuja community. The tragic event has not only robbed a family of their loved ones, but has also shattered the sense of security that residents of this quiet neighborhood once enjoyed. The incident has raised serious questions about societal safety and security. It has reminded us that no place is immune to violence, not even our own homes. It has underscored the importance of having effective security measures in place, and it has highlighted the need for strong community ties where neighbors look out for each other. In the wake of this tragedy, local residents have rallied together, offering support to the bereaved family and vowing to bolster security in the area. This unity in adversity is a testament to the strength of the community. The broader implications of this crime are far-reaching. It's a stark reminder of the urgent need for proactive crime prevention strategies and more robust law enforcement. It's a call to action for all of us to take responsibility for our own safety and the safety of those around us. While the pain of loss remains, there is a glimmer of hope that the tragic death of Adebola and Abiodun Ezekiel will serve as a catalyst for change, that it will spur a renewed commitment to safety and security, not just in the Federal Capital Territory, but across the country. As we await justice for Adebola and Abiodun Ezekiel, we are reminded of the fragility of life and the importance of community vigilance in ensuring our collective safety.